let me go ahead and good afternoon, everyone. This is Jessica Parker White. I'm the education coordinator here at CMC Arts, and we're really excited today because today, all the way from St. Thomas, we have Karim Callwood. He is a very gifted artist, and he is going to teach us about how to draw our own comic book characters. I'm going to let him introduce himself here in a moment by sharing some of his beautiful images that he has. This is part of our Art at Home series, and the Art at Home series is funded through a grant with St. Croix Foundation. So we thank St. Croix Foundation for putting this on. This marks our second one for 2022. And we're excited that you guys are joining us on this Zoom call. We also had wonderful art supplies too that was gifted to the museum by the St. Croix Foundation to make sure that you guys were prepared for today's great lesson here with Karim. So again, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go, Karim.
Hi, good afternoon again. My name is Karim Callwood from St. Thomas, creator of VI Guardian, and more to come. I have about 2 more coming, but yeah, VI Guardian. And I'm pleased to be here with you guys. I can't think of anything better to do than to be here. Trust me. I love doing comics. I love drawing. I enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoy my time with you guys as well. Anything else you want to know or you want me to talk about? I can bring up my screen and
why don't you show them, Mr. Callwood, your VI Guardian to start with, and some of your wonderful inspirational images before we get started with today's lesson.
That's a page from it right there. Sorry, that's a page from it right there. Actually, he's looking over right now in the top panel. He's looking over the area of Coral World. That is where Coral World actually is. So he's just floating over there, looking over, because he can fly, obviously. So yeah, that's just one of the pages from it. You want me to show you guys some more, or that's fine?
Show us another one. And while you're showing it to us, Mr. Callwood, I'm guessing you probably started off pretty young drawing as well too, just like these.
Yes, I started off at, I'm not too sure the exact age, but it was young. I wasn't even a teen yet. You know what's so crazy? When I was in school, I sucked at art really bad. People never believe me when I tell them that. I was like, yeah, I really did. I really, really did. Almost everyone was in the class. Almost everyone in the class was better than me. I was like the worst person in the class, and now I'm way better than all of them.
And how did that happen? I'm taking a guess. You probably stuck with it? Yeah,
I stuck with it. Well, they left it alone and do other things, but I stick with it. So now I'm the one that's better than them now. But they were better than me. I was the least one in the class. Even the girls was better than me. Trust me. Oh, that bothered me a lot. But yeah, I'll show you another image. Let me go in the gallery.
And you were telling me you're on your 3rd comic book, correct, Mr. Callwood?
Yes. Yes. I'm trying to bring out the 3 of them all at once. It's been a lot of work. This is another page from the new comic that is coming up. The next book. This is another page from it, the new book. So yeah, it's a lot of things going on in there. It wouldn't make sense right now, but when you read it, you'll see it makes sense. Let me see if I can find something else for you guys. Because there's a lot of the comic I'm doing with the kids. They let me find. Sorry. All right. This is another page right here too from the first book though. This is from the first book.
And do you know, Mr. Callwood, where we can purchase one of your books if the students?
What is called Neighborhood Farm. They had books. I'm not sure if they're out of books yet, but I I sold books to the lady for the neighborhood farm up in St. Croix.
Okay, so neighborhood pharmacy close to out west here. Well, these are fantastic, and I'm glad that you stuck with the drawing and you didn't give up your passion here. And I love the fact too that your characters are here representing the Virgin Islands in your comic book series. So we're excited today to learn how to draw and get started here with you. So I know as an art teacher, this is one of the things that I know my students were always excited and they love drawing, and probably a lot of the students that are on the line probably in their notebooks have got little sketches going on the side and drawing different characters. Maybe some of the times when you guys are supposed to be paying attention to your teachers, but you're drifting off and you're doing some other artwork on the side. So we're excited today for you to take us through some drawing exercises here.
Yeah, and this is just the cover. Just showing this is the cover right here. So yeah, okay, let me go into this.
They're beautiful.
All right. Yeah, so when we want to start with characters, it could be simple, but not really at the same time. For instance, like it starts with like a circle, and sometimes the circle doesn't always have to be perfect. It's like the top of your head. It's like the wrong face of your head without the jaw. And when you want to form a nice face to make sure the eyes and everything lines up, you come down with you come down with a line like that, straight down the face. It doesn't always have to be a perfect head because you could always change it. Then you come down. Sorry about that. Like that. So that's just me just rough sketching a face. But that's how basically you do you start your face out. These lines that I'm doing, it's like breaking down the face structure. But I'll put more up to show you. Like for instance, this picture right here. This is a perfectly good one here. And this is another one right here. So when we want to, if you look at it good, you see that there's let me make it a lot bigger. You can see that I put the A's already there too. This top line and this line at the bottom separates everything. This is how you know where the ears will go, how long the ears will be to the face. This line to the bottom it tells you where the nose goes. And right about here, I'll do a next line.
So Mr. Callwood, do you want them to draw this image fairly large?
Yes. They can draw the image
on just this part today. Okay, so again, everybody, why don't we just give them a moment, Mr. Callwood, to catch up there with the facial proportions that you're giving us.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you're breaking it all down there. So you've got that circle we started off with, and then you've created that chiseled jawline, which I'm guessing is
yes, the chin and everything.
Superhero look.
And yes.
And probably drawing fairly light too, so that way you guys can erase easily as you're going here in case you need to go back.
And there are many ways to draw the face. I mean, a lot of people draw the face in different ways. It could be a really, really pointy chin, or it could just be that chiseled face right there. I more prefer the chiseled face because it looks more like a real person than the very, very pointy looking chin. But like I said, people do things different, and there's no one direct way to draw your own characters. But you still have to follow the anatomy way of the facial structure.
Would a non-photo pencil like this one here help?
Yes, you could use a blue pencil and draw, and you can also use a red pencil. When doing comics, what they taught me in the class was we do sketches with blue pencils. That way, when we use our darker pencils or a pen or whatever, it goes in good with the blue, and it could cover the blue very easily than if you use a different color that is very dark, that is very hard to get rid of. They even use it in computer comic. When they're using digital comics, they use the blue as well because it's very easy to put the black over it and it doesn't show like this. It doesn't really show. I'm sorry. Where is it? It doesn't really show like that. See? It goes over, it covers the blue very easily. I'll go back now though to the blue. But yeah, the blue is something they teach us or teach anyone. You could start with the blue and then it's like you could draw the face with the blue, and then when you want to draw the hair, you can use the red. So now you can tell where the red is and where the blue is. You can put hair. Let me see if I could get a different color red. And what I'm just trying to show an example. I'll erase it back for you guys to do it over, don't worry. And you could just, a headline, see? And let's just say his hair looks like this. But now you can tell how high the hair will go because you can see the blue and the red. So you know how much hair to put on his head, depending on the character you want to draw, at least. But I'll wait for everyone to finish draw the circle and the chin. But yeah, those lines, those two lines that I put, one is directly in the middle of the circle and one is under the circle. Because that's where the nose goes. The nose goes right here.
So
Right
Mr.
there.
Callwood, when you were initially, I'm guessing you did everything, you sketched everything by hand. And now as you're creating your comic books, are you doing your designs first and your ideas with pencil, or are you going directly going onto your iPad there to do your drawings?
I do both. I do both because I sometimes like doing it with a pencil because I'm accustomed of that first, but to make things go quicker, I use a tablet. Because just like how I draw this nose, all I have to do is press back and the nose is gone. It helps me move faster when I have a lot of work to do than if you use the paper. The paper, I'll have to, if I make a mistake on the paper, sometimes you have to get rid of the whole paper to start over because you can't sometimes fix things when they have ink in it. You make a mistake with ink, it's like sometimes that's it. Depending on how bad it is, at least. But I prefer right now doing it digital because it's very easy and I can do 3 pages very easily than if I was just doing on paper. Because making a mistake in the computer is very easy to correct.
Do you want to see what some of your students are up to so far in the class?
Yes, definitely.
Kai, do you want to go ahead and share with Mr. Callwood and the rest of us, not to put you on the spot? Now with the pencils, I know, because I was teaching Zoom last year, I know we want to draw a light to start with, but it is a little harder for us to see. So Kai, if you want to put it a little closer, we can try to look. Okay.
But you can sort of see the lines.
Yeah, I can see you drew large though.
Oh yes, I see it now. I see it now. He drew it big. I was looking for it small. I see it big. Yeah, I see it now. I see the 2 lines too. That's nice.
Anybody else want to be brave and share with Mr. Callwood and the group what they've done so far?
That's funny you said brave because a lot of people when they draw, they don't like people to see it. They're sometimes too shy to show it.
And if you've got a virtual background up, I
Ezekiel.
will say you can't
Ezekiel.
share, unfortunately, your artwork. Yeah, so you're gonna have to undo it.
Ezekiel, your drawing is too close a little bit. It was too blurry.
I'm gonna see how I can make my background unblurry.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
my mom made it like that.
Just make sure then, Mr. Rogers, that you're in a background that you can share with us, okay? So maybe something that's solid behind you. I see Miss Webster sharing with us as well too.
I want to show you guys something. One second.
Oh, I've got Mr. Rogers, you go ahead and hold yours up. Get a little closer. Wow, okay. Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
That
And
is nice.
yeah, it's just a little small, but I can see it. That's good. And I've got Leonise, do you want to share again in case I think Mr. Callwood was watching Rogers, so he didn't get to see.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you guys are being brave and sharing with us your work in progress here. Ah, awesome.
Nice.
You're drawing on a tablet?
Yeah.
Someone is drawing on a tablet? Oh,
That
that's
was,
nice.
yes, that's Leonise Webster. She's on the tablet there. Anybody else want to share what they've got going right this moment? We've got some talented artists here.
Hi, I just want to apologize for joining late. This is Sharu Ross for Renwick Lynch. We were driving home listening to your techniques, so I'm hoping that he'll go right inside. We just got home and start doing his drawings.
Okay, not a problem, Ms. Ross. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that.
I want to show my drawings.
Oh, we've got Alexis too. Mr. Callwood, Alexis is sharing with us to her image. I think you've got it on blur mode too, Alexis. It's going a little in and out, but oh, you want a side view, I see.
I don't see Alexis.
Alexis Schroeder, she's got a large head there. You might have to use your arrows to go up and down, but Alexis Schroeder is sharing hers.
Okay.
Nice job, Alexis.
I am not okay.
What do you think?
Okay, I see it now. Yes, I see it now. Nice. That's nice. And this is Alexis? Yeah,
Yes,
I saw the drawing. That's actually, she actually did it almost accurate. The eyes and everything was in the right place, actually.
Alexis is very good. She likes to draw. I know
Yeah.
that. Yes.
This is what, see this? Can you guys see that? This is some of the drawings I did for the same VI Guardian. This is just him, when the younger him, because he changed from a young boy to a grown man to be the superhero. This is just the younger version of him. These are just sketches. These are the ideas I came up with. This is the permanent drawing for him. And this is Guardian, of course, you can see that these are the pencil things that I mentioned to you that I did before I started to go on the tablet. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yes.
They're all, so all these ideas, back and front drawing of the characters. And I also have other characters never seen yet, of course, like this guy. It's really white there, but yeah.
Oh, I love his hair.
Yeah. His name is Imagination. So yeah, I've done a lot of different ones because it's it's really white. My screen, is it? Oh, I'm sorry, my screen went out.
We're still seeing you.
My tablet screen went out.
Oh.
All right, it's coming back on. This is another character, a female. So yeah, these are the ways when you're doing characters, you want to make sure you draw them their face in different angles. so you can know how your character will look in different forms, different poses, which is one of the hardest things to do, is to draw over the same character more than once to look the same in different poses. Very hard. It took me years to learn that, and I mean a lot of years, because I could never get the character to always look the same. It's pretty hard, but you can still
I
get
have
it.
a question.
Yes.
Huh? Go back on your home screen.
My home screen?
I saw an app called Flip a Clip. Is that where you make all the saving for your comics? Because I have that app too.
I don't really save comics in that. This is what I use right here, where the arrow is. It's called Procreate. That's the one I'm joining right now. This one.
Does Procreate cost money on mobile?
Yes, it's about, I think it's like $4. But it's an app I've been using on this tablet for many years now. I use it as my drawing, because it's for drawing. You could do many things, many different things with it. You could even do lettering. I'm sorry.
Mr. Callwood, I'm going to put it in the chat for the students. Of course, all of you guys are going to make sure that your parents say okay before you buy an app.
Yes,
can you go ahead and tell us again the name, and I'll spell it out here for everyone in the chat.
It's called Procreate. Procreate. Procreate, one word.
Okay, oh, sorry, Procreate.
Yes.
Okay, so those of you can ask your parents before you download that app. But
yes, please do.
Really,
please
that
do.
was a great eye there that you were able to pick that right up and see.
Yeah, he
and
picked
ask
it up
that
really
question.
good too.
So,
he picked it up really good. I didn't even stand the screen long, and he saw it. But that's good. Yeah. So yeah, I use this, and oh, you know what? Can I show them something on my screen? Can I show them a video that I from one of my comics, but I made it into a motion comic? Can I show them?
Sure.
Okay, it's only gonna take 2 minutes. I think it's just 2 minutes long. That's it. So where is it? Right here, I think. Yeah, look. Oh, that's for the next comic that was coming out. So I do be doing many different things too as well. So this was just something I was working on as well, but yeah, it's finished. It was just something short. I just wanted to show them that I do be doing different things, add music to it and everything. But yeah, I'll go back to what I was doing.
That was thank you for sharing that. And I have a feeling that just short clip of your comic book, I'm sure took many hours to put together.
Yeah, it did. It really did. It's if you don't love it, I'm gonna admit, if you don't love this comic thing, you're not gonna stick with it, because it takes a lot of time and patience to get a lot of things done. But if you don't like it, you're not really gonna stick with it. So I pray that you do like it, because it's a lot of work behind of it. So when you see these cartoons that you guys watch on TV, know that it's a whole big team trying to get that thing together. But it's worth it though. It's fun. Okay, back to what I was doing.
I think we were at the nose, which I know is one of those things that a lot of
Yes.
people don't like drawing noses. So any kind of hints that you have to tell the students to make that comic
Well,
book nose?
you could, well, a nose could be different in many different ways. It could be a nose like this, or it could be a nose like that.
Mr. Callwood, could you just zoom in on that one that you're drawing?
Oh.
Just there we go.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
There we go. So it could be a straight nose. It could be that kind of nose. It can be any kind of nose you want it to be. It could even be, let me do one more, sorry. It could even be just a line like that. Some people make noses like that too when they're drawing. It depends on the character you're drawing at least. But I draw my nose to be a little more like the one I just showed you. Like that. And the ears, we can't forget about the ears, but I'll do it when you guys finish the nose. I'll show you how to do the ears too. So like I say, it doesn't have to be the exact nose that I'm drawing, but the nose still goes in that spot anyway. Or you might have not a proportional face if you put it in the wrong place. It could make your character look off. One eye could be higher than the next, and the nose might just be far too down. But I'll show you how to do the ears. Let me know when you guys do the nose, and I'll.
You guys ready for the next part? Thumbs up if you're ready to go. Okay, we got some thumbs up, so I think we're ready to go, so they can follow along. Perfect.
All right. I'm gonna do the air next, okay? So this is a cartoon air, but it's still realistically drawn air. So see?
Mm.
And remember, the airs is still a little different on both sides. One, the side I just drew it on, it's you can see it clearly more on that side than if you draw it on the other side, because naturally the other side air will be a little more hidden than that air. Depends on how you standing, at least. Like this one would be like this, so it would be not so much visible like that one. I want to teach you guys how to draw eye too. So depending on what kind of eye you like, it might have those gigantic big eyes like in the anime cartoons. They have those big eyes, and it has those normal size eyes, depending on which one you like. But before I do that, I'll draw the mouth. To make sure you're drawing a good mouth, one of the easiest ways that works for me when drawing a mouth is that
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you know how to do a female head, or are we gonna do that next?
You want to do a female head? Yes, we could do a female.
Yeah, and also kid versions of both heads, because I'm thinking of doing a comic now.
Yeah, yeah. The female head is still basically the same. It's basically the same thing. Just she will not have a full chisel jaw like that. That'll just be too much for her. So she will have a much more a much more narrow face than that. You don't want to make your females have a big jaw like that. You know, it'll be scary.
I love the fact that, Mr. Rogers, you're really thinking already about the fact and realizing the fact that, yes, that the characters here, they're all going to need to have a little bit differences there in their proportions there of their face. So these are great questions and comments you're asking. So thank you.
Yes, that's a very good thing he asked, because they might have gone and drawn the female with the same exact jawline, and it will just throw her off. You know, when you're drawing them out too as well, you just want to do a straight line across. You can leave it like that, but it's too plain. So I just draw the line across, and then I start pointing, depending on the character again, the lips. Like I said, depending on the character, depending on which character you have, it could be like that. Or it can be another way and just not have the lips. It could just be the line across and then the bottom lip alone. So it's two ways, or more than one way, but those two ways are the two normal ways you can do lips. And if you look at it, you can see that everything is spaced out. The lip is not too low to be on the chin, and the nose is just above, like how a normal nose would be. The eyes are spaced enough. The eyes are actually 3 eyes apart. It should be able to fit one more eye in the middle of his eyes, in the middle of 2 eyes. That's how you know how far apart it should be. So it'd be 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. It should be able to have space in between the eye to make another eye if you had to do something like that. If you can't, it's too close.
Is there a way to draw the kind of anime eye? I'm thinking
Yeah,
of doing an anime comic.
There is a way to draw the anime eye. Anime eyes, it depends on which depending on which kind of eye you want, because there's a whole lot of eyes, but I'll just draw one just in case, okay? Just to show you one. And see, so, and I'll just draw eyebrows. See? So that's like the anime eyes right there. One of them, at least. There are tons of them, but that's just one way of doing it. So you see the difference with anime and American comics is that American comics has that more realistically guy look, like the one I did up above. And the anime eyes look like that. They're much bigger. There are more than one ways to do it, of course. And then there's, let's say I'm gonna do a female one. And a much bigger eye with a much bigger pupil. And it looks like that. Oh. And let's say she's gonna have eyebrow like that, and you could just mark it in if you want, and have her eyes like that. So you see, it's more than one ways to do it. There are all kind of ways to do more eyes. The eyes like that too, with a much smaller look. That like that too, see? There's just a bunch of different ways you can do it. And there are many different ways to draw eyebrows as well too.
So I'm guessing, Mr. Callwood, as you're developing your character, and then especially when you're putting your character into a whole scene with a plot, their eyes and eyebrows and including their lips obviously have to change because of facial expressions, whether they're having a good day or something terrible's just happened. So you're going to see a lot of that changes, I'm guessing, on the actual face of your comic book character.
Yes, you can make him very angry by just making up. You can make him look really angry by just adding that part to his face, and he'll start to look angry, because when you get upset, you know, your face get the anger, it actually caused by the eyebrow going up. Let me see if I can make a much better one. That one is a little too thick, but yeah. You know, the eyebrows though will go up more and come down more like a, let's say, let me just do a new one. These are the eyebrow. This is a different, this is another way of drawing eyes as well. And he's upset. No, sorry. I'm still drawing that one too small. Yeah.
So those of you with your sketch pads, or if you want to flip over, you might want to draw a set of angry eyes just so you can practice.
And there's a crinkle by the nose when you're upset too as well, you know. All these things play a factor in showing how angry you could be.
Excuse me?
You have a question?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead. Well, for me, or?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask you how you did it, because it's really hard.
Yes, I know. I could go slow for you. You want me to go slow? I'll go slow for you. No worries. I'll go slow. I'll do another one for you.
Yes.
Okay, and also remember too, because I know one of you wrote me earlier saying you didn't think your drawing was that good. Please remember that Mr. Callwood is older than well, he's my age, but he's older than you guys, and he's been practicing for a really, really long time. So
yes, I've been all my life, basically all my life. So let's just consider that a whole 30-something years. So trying to compare yourself with me, don't do that. Okay? It's you're gonna get yours too. It will come to you too as well. You just have to practice. That's what I did. Instead of using my time and doing random things, I used it to practice a lot. And I couldn't go to school online, and I couldn't go to any art colleges, so I take a couple courses online. I take little schools online, direct comic book schools. And before the online thing came up when I was younger, this is what I did. I bought books to teach me. Every book that came out that teach you how to make a comic or manga or anything you want to call it, I bought books. Bought books. These are all how to draw books, if you can see them. Can you see them clearly?
mm-hmm.
And these are anime books. See?
Yeah.
Teach you how to do eyes. These are books I studied for years and years and years. I had these books. These books might even be older than you guys. And I'm not actually joking. There might be. See, they teach you how to do clothing, wrinkles in the clothing and everything. They teach you how clothing folds when you make a move, when your hand moves a certain way. So this is why I know what I'm doing, because I've been practicing for a very, very, very long time. So you see, it's not just that I got up and just say, hey, I'm just doing it like this one. Shows you how to do little young girls like that one was mentioning. So I always been following this one. Shows you how to do an old lady. So you see, I have books that teach me how to do things and how to get these things drawn, even buildings. I even have books that teach you how to draw backgrounds and houses. And so it's not it wasn't just yesterday or anything that has got up. It's going to be harder. I know. I'll show you one more with clothing. Clothing is one of the hardest things to draw in movements. There are some very hard things to draw. Sounds simple, but clothing is very hard. Clothing, fingers, and toes. Yes, those three things there are very hard to draw. Because you can draw a face, you can draw a body, you could even probably even draw the clothes. But when you draw someone's fingers to make it look real, it's hard. Sometimes it still gives me trouble.
So I'm sure, Mr. Callwood, you were using those books as and you practice, but then you started to tweak and create your own unique style, your own characters, essentially, correct?
Yes.
So
yes.
learning those basic techniques and then making it your own.
Yes, I had to make sure that I know what I was doing before I start creating my own. Because the teacher that I had, his name is Alvin Lee. He do a lot.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm just confused and I can't draw the head yet.
Okay.
Okay. I'll do it with you. Come, I'll do it with you. Okay. So this is what I'll do. You ready? You there?
I think so. I think he's there. Did you want to this time, because we did have somebody asking about if you could do a female version. Do you want to start fresh and we'll do each step with the circle starting because we still have a little bit of time here. We can do a female comic book character face.
Yes, what I can do is
is mine okay?
I want it to be not that hard because I still don't know how to draw the circle good enough yet.
And that's what I was telling you, that you don't have to be perfect to draw the circle. You could just draw a circle and come down the middle of it, because you could always go back and fix it, you know, because it's still in the beginning stage of drawing. I make mistakes still. Look, this is a slim, look at this one right here that look at this one right here, this one. If you look closely at it, you can see that the jaw lines is very different. Look at this one, this jaw is this right here and the right here. See where that is? That's the beginning part of the jaw. And look where the other one is. I can see that they're off. So I make mistakes too as well.
I don't know what
You just made a mistake, Zara.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
What?
I'll show you. I'll show you. I'm erasing the jaw of this one. And I'll erase, I'm sorry. I'll erase that one so I can go back to this one. Now, you say you wanted to make a female version face. Oops, sorry. So her face will be much.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? I'm sorry. Her face will be, if you're drawing a female face, you see, I'm going to go slow this time. So I'm going to start with just that side. Could you follow that? Can you? Or you want me to go back again? I can go back again. All you have to do is just draw a circle and then make a line come down in between of it. That looks like a pie or a pizza. And the line doesn't have to be perfect either. Just do the best you can in the middle of the circle and that should be good enough. Because like I said, you could always go back and fix it. It's not a problem. You could always go back and fix it. Are you there?
Yep, we're still here. So we've got the circle shape.
I mean, the one that was
he's
asking a question. That's what I was looking for, because obviously that one is getting a struggle. So I'm trying to.
I think he's also a little bit struggling too, Mr. Callwood. When these are two brothers that the mother must have signed up, and this one's a little bit on the younger side than what we had planned for this workshop. So I'll talk to his mom later today, but you can keep on going. Try, Mr. Jackson, you're there. You can try with us to keep going. So
you want me to keep going? Go ahead.
yeah, Rogers, you're ready to go. I can see on the line there. And I've got some other people too. So yep, you're good to go, Mr. Callwood.
Oh, I have a question. Can you see if mine is okay?
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
No problem.
I did like the outlining of it already.
Okay.
We have Leonise there.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
No, that's really nice. Look at the face. You actually have the eyes in the right place and the nose and the mouth. They all fit inside. That's good.
And Leonise, remind me again, which school do you attend? Give a shout out to your school, huh?
Complex.
Complex. So Leonise is in 9th grade at Complex. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's why. Okay. That make a lot of sense. I was like, wow, such a young kid. You see, even I sometimes have to go over more than one time to, if you want, you could do the line all the way down so you can know where the chin goes, like that. And then it'll be easier for you to connect everything.
So with the female face, it's a little softer then? Is that what we're creating?
It's a lot softer than the guys. The guy face. Our face will be a lot more softer, yes. Our eyes. And now see, I'm not looking too well because my eye is off a bit, but it's okay. Like I say, sometimes it depends on what kind of eyes you guys want. You guys want anime eyes? Okay, I'll get some anime eyes for you. They're different kind of anime eyes. Then you could just like that and give it eyelashes. You can make her eyes, you can make her have eyelashes. And the eyebrow wouldn't be as thick as a guy on, so right, because that'll be a problem. So we'll make a much more smaller and smoother eyelashes. That one is too high. And when you want to do eyebrows, the best thing to do is just start with one line going up. Let me do it over again, sorry. You could start with a line. It's much easier, then you could form it afterwards. Because the line now is like the line shows you where everything goes. And her nose, like I said, depending on what kind of nose she has.
Oh, wow. We have several noses there too, Rogers is drawing. Okay.
I think I'll do her nose over. I'll make a simpler nose for him. So we do a nose like this.
It's me.
Yes, you talking to me?
I didn't hear anything you said because something was wrong and then I have to leave and then I had to leave.
Okay, I was saying you okay? Okay, I was saying that when you want to do the eyebrows, you could do it like this. This is a simpler way. You make a line. At least you know where it goes. I could do this just like that. And then you bring the rest piece up. And that way you know where your eyebrow goes at least. That if you try to do the whole eyebrow at once, sometimes it makes you, it brings it off. Once you know where it goes, then you could finish the rest of it. Like the mouth. I'm gonna put a line here like that. But this is a woman, so now we're gonna make her get the lips.
That was all you said, right?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Repeat.
I asked if that was all you were saying.
Yes. And I was telling you to put some eyelashes on the woman's eyes so she can actually start to look like a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, but I still just don't know how to draw the head still and add the stuff on it.
I know, it's okay. Don't try to make it perfect like mine. Don't do that, because then you will be there fighting against yourself for hours. And it's gonna make you discouraged. Okay? Don't compare yourself to anybody. You just practice on yourself, all right? If you try to compare with somebody, you'll always find somebody that's better than you. Don't do that to yourself. Okay?
Okay.
So just you practice. Don't let anybody tell you anything about your art is not good. It's okay. You'll get there. It just takes a while, okay? Because I felt the same way you feel when I was young. I watching everybody drawings and I want mine to look just like theirs. And the more I don't get it like theirs, the more frustrated I got. You don't want to be like that, okay?
Okay.
I'm telling you this, but there was nobody to tell me that. To don't frustrate myself and compare myself with other people. But I'm telling you, don't do it, okay?
Okay.
I think also too, Mr. Callwood, wouldn't you agree that if you get frustrated, because I have a feeling when you're working on your comic book, sometimes you have something in your head and it's not coming out exactly right. Sometimes it's best, not right this moment since we're on a Zoom, but sometimes it's best to put the pencil down, give yourself a break and come back to it.
Definitely. When I can't get something done and it's just frustrating me, I put it down and I say it's time to go take a rest.
I already developed my own style.
I put it down and I leave the house completely. I don't even want to see it. I just leave the house and I go and do other things. I come back the next day because I know if I go back the same day, it's going to be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I come back the next day, it works out really good. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we unfortunately only get a few more minutes with you. Is there a way you could show us about some hair real quick on both of our male and female?
Definitely.
Just a quick little tutorial for hair.
I'll finish the neck too as well. That's her neck. And these goes there too as well. I'll finish her ears quickly. And hair now. Like I said, you could do many different styles of hair. And hair will go here and hair will come down. Like I said, depending on what kind of hair it is. And when you do things like this, then you go back, take an eraser, and then you erase. Those lines are just there for guidelines. When you get the hair in, you start erasing things. Don't erase everything at least. You start erasing things like that because then you could clearly start seeing your drawing a lot better once everything starts to be erased. It comes out a lot more clearer, much better.
Did you guys notice too how he gave his hair volume by going off her skull? So the hair actually extends outward. So it's not right on. I think that's one of the things. That
it's not right on the skull. Yes, it's not right on the skull. It comes off the skull So you get to, so it makes it look more realistic. So yeah, so you, like I said, the hair could be many different ways. It could come down like that, and it could be covering the hair. And if it's covering the ears, then you want to erase some of the ears and not all of the ears, just some of it. You know, if it's covering the ears, there's no point for the ears to be seen if it's covering some of the ears. So and in some cases, you know, let's just say I want to do a put her with shoulders, and I want to give her, let's say I want to give her some kind of a jacket or something. So I'll give her some kind of jacket. Maybe she's wearing, sorry. So maybe she's wearing something with a high collar. And then again, like the creases, you want to make sure the creases is there. Erase some of the lines that is unnecessary. So you see, you could do a whole, it's like a whole, I don't know what to call it. It's like you're making up a whole person. Clothing, everything. You draw them, you draw their body first, and then you just start, let's go by the guy now. Let's say the guy, hairline. So you don't want to make his hairline all up hair. So you want to start at a good length, like right here. I make this line straight across because that way I know where everything will fall. Now I know it could go down like that. See? And let's just say you don't have a lot of hair in his head. Let's say he has low hair. You're still gonna have to come up off of the scalp a little bit like that. So you see, and then you go in and just start erasing certain things. Like right here, sorry. I'm sorry, where am I looking for? Okay, there we go. So you see, once you get the guidelines down, you put everything, you can start erasing certain things. Certain things could be erased. So that way now you can see that he has hair in his head and it doesn't look too weird, because you have to come up off of the scalp when you're doing that.
And I like the fact too, I think a lot of times students, probably you've seen this too, Mr. Callwood, which is students like to forget about that forehead, and it's important that we have that space between the hairline and the eyebrows. Yes,
definitely. And that's what I was telling them. That's why the lines are there as a guideline. It's very important to have these lines there, because now you will know where everything falls. That was the first thing they taught me in the comic class. These guidelines are very important to follow. No matter if you're drawing your own character and let's say your character has elongated arms. Yes, you can make his arms, you can make him 8 feet tall and his arms long to the floor. You still have to follow the anatomy of his arms no matter what. You know, whether this guy is bald, whether he has a mask on his face, it doesn't matter. It still has to follow some kind of rule of anatomy in order to make it look really good, to make it come out decent.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much today, Mr. Callwood, for walking us through the facial proportions. I'm excited for those of you that like to share, please, with us on the side here. I'm seeing Renwick, is that you there showing off yours? Why don't you put it a little closer so we can see yours again, Renwick?
That's
Okay.
nice.
Awesome. Hold it up a little
I'm
bit. There we
seeing
go.
I'm seeing Kai's on as well. Kai is nice too.
Okay, let's see Kai. Yep.
Ah, that's nice.
We got
Alexis is nice
Leonise.
too.
All right, so why don't we guys hold it
Nice.
all up? I know, so we can take a look, see. Okay, Alexis has got hers up. Awesome. Let me see if I can change this vision. Wait 1 second. I'm gonna have you guys, let me get Mr. Callwood. I'm gonna stop having you share for a minute.
Okay, no problem.
So I'm gonna have you stop sharing, Mr. Callwood, and then we'll go
Okay,
back
so,
to
so
the
you
regular.
want me to turn it off?
Yeah, stop the screen
Okay.
sharing for a moment, and then we'll be able to
Yes.
have everyone hold up at the same time so we can see everyone's
Okay,
work.
okay. There we go. I turn it off. Is it off?
No,
you guys-
not quite yet.
Oh, do I have to turn off my camera too? You want me to turn off my camera from seeing myself?
No, you're just gonna stop the screen share at the bottom where the green button is. So it says
Oh,
share
yes,
screen.
yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there you go. Now you're good. We're gonna
I'm
view
sorry,
everybody together.
Okay.
Let me remove Mr. Callwood as our spotlight. Okay, so I think we can all now share our artwork and we should be able to see everyone's as you're going here. So I'll call out names and that way we can see it. It'll go a little bit better here. So let's go ahead and Kai, you wanna share yours?
And I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cut it short because we have to go somewhere out west.
Not a problem. And Kai, we'll see you tomorrow.
problem.
Mr. Callwood's going to do the whole body tomorrow. Okay. So we'll see you tomorrow.
That's nice still though. It's nice.
I hope you guys are going to give your characters names as well too. So we got Kai there. Let's see here. Who else wants to share? Leonise, you're sharing yours. You want to unmute? Tell us your character's name.
Okay.
That's nice.
So I'm gonna call him like I don't know who I don't know who I'm gonna call him. I'm calling him Chris, I guess.
Okay.
Chris, all right.
So this is him. And
That's
yeah,
nice, man.
whatever.
The only thing you're missing now is clothes to put on him, but it's nice. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Just think
Alexis,
about-
we've got yours. Alexis, there you go.
Yeah.
Unmute.
I didn't think of a name for mine yet.
That's okay. It's very nice, actually.
They're all looking
Thank
so
you.
good.
No, that's very nice.
We've got a lot of talent over here, Mr. Callwood, over in
Yes, I
St.
see
Croix.
that.
Acacia, are you there? Jacindy?
I'm not sure if Acacia's there.
I think there, some people I know have a little internet issues too, so they might not be able to share their screen. Do I have somebody
Yeah.
else on the line that wanted to share too? Okay, Mr. Rogers, you got your hand up. Go ahead. Put a little closer for us. Awesome.
That's nice.
And I've got Mr. Jackson, you there? You want to share? And I've got Renwick also. Yeah?
Yeah.
And Renwick, you want to unmute? I think you shared a moment ago, so.
I have something to share.
Okay.
Yes, I want to see it too. Oh, that's a lady.
Yeah, I didn't see till just now.
That's
We were in that
nice.
other mode, so I do apologize that I was wrong. I couldn't see till just now. All right, I'm gonna have you guys stay on the line for a second, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video here in one moment. We want to thank again St. Croix Foundation for allowing us to have this wonderful Art at Home series. And we're so happy to have Karim Callwood all the way from St. Thomas join us here today on the Zoom and sharing his expertise on comic book drawing. This is part one. Tomorrow's part two with facial, we did facial proportions today. And part two tomorrow will be concentrating more on the body proportions with comic book characters.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys all again tomorrow. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right, bye.
Good afternoon, students. My name is Jessica Parker White. I'm the education coordinator here at CMC Arts, and welcome to day 2 of your Art at Home series. This is for February. We started off yesterday working with faces, learning how to do our proper facial proportions and some tips and tricks on how to create those perfect comic book faces for both female and male. We are joined today with Mr. Karim Callwood from St. Thomas, the creator of VI Guardian, and it's quite a pleasure and an honor to have him back on again with us today. And we're looking forward to day 2 of our Art at Home series. And again, this is sponsored by the St. Croix Foundation. So we really appreciate their help and support, making sure that you guys are able to get some art while you're at home. So thank you.
Yes, thank you guys for having me. Definitely.
So Mr. Callwood, I wanted to share, if you don't mind, real quick, my screen. I'm going to share with you guys the great article that was in the newspaper today. So let me just pull up here. We had yesterday on our Zoom, we had a reporter, Bethany Lee, was on our Zoom with us yesterday, and she did ask you guys some questions at the end of the class period. So if you get a chance, definitely have your parents pick up the Virgin Islands Daily News. We're page 3. There's one of Mr. Callwood's images here that he shared with us yesterday. And we have the comic book drawing class here, Inspires Young Artists. And as you guys are able to pick this up here, I'll email this to you guys later. We have some quotes here. Ezekiel, there you are, Mr. Rogers there, 10-year-old, you're in the newspaper. Renwick is also in the paper, he is mentioned here. And I saw, who else? I saw a few other names here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good
Alexis.
afternoon.
I remember seeing Alexis's name too, Alexis Schroeder. So again, some of you were quoted here in the paper. Again, this is today's paper, Virgin Islands News. So please, if you get a chance, stop and take a look-see. And it just talks about our wonderful day that we had yesterday here with Mr. Callwood. And the article definitely emphasized the fact that it takes practice. So I hope nobody was beating themselves up last night about any of their artwork. Hopefully everyone is smiling still. You're back for day 2. And just remember, you have to stick with it. I think that's one of the most important lessons Mr. Callwood gave us yesterday.
You have to. It's an ongoing thing, and it's like you never know everything. I know guys that's been doing it for longer than me, and still tells me that they still have a lot to learn. So just take it easy, guys. You will never know everything. That's one thing I'm for sure. You could always know something new every day practicing. So I don't know if you want me to bring up my screen now or.
Yeah, go ahead and you can bring up your screen. So as you get your screen ready, day 1, again, we looked at those facial proportions, learning how to get those comics, especially the jawline, which I thought was really helpful. And then you shared with us yesterday too, the eyes, and that whole book just full of images of eyes.
Yeah.
I know I'm dating myself, but back in the day when I was learning how to draw, I had the books. We didn't have the internet as a reference, and you guys definitely have the whole world out there at your convenience, at your fingertips here. So
my thing is not showing up. I don't know why. It's not saying, oh, I'm sorry. It's me. I'm sorry. It's me. It's my fault.
not a problem.
There it is. There we go. So yeah, I already put some stuff in practice, but yeah, I'm here now. So what are we gonna do today? We're doing body today, right? Oh, just for what's his name? Ezekiel. He was asking me about the female face. And what I did is I just try to show him in, where is it? Where is it? I'm sorry.
You got a lot of layers there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the one that I made specifically. Yeah, he was asking about faces, and I try to, yeah, Ezekiel. Yesterday he wanted to know about the female face. So I just did that just for him, just in case he want to see it. I'll just leave it up in the corner for him. But for the body, I went ahead and started the guy's body. That is the proportional body of a comic character. As you can see, I'll make it bigger though, so you can really see everything.
Okay, so we got a quick question already. Kai, you want to ask a question before we get started with how to draw this male comic character?
So are we also going to be drawing the body today?
Yes.
Okay. That means I'm going to have to start over.
Not start over, just you've got plenty of paper, I'm sure. So just keep your face drawing and you can put it off to the side because a lot of you, I think, drew your faces fairly large. So I'm sure Mr. Callwood today, we're going to be concentrating on those body proportions, which how many of you guys have issues drawing bodies? Like maybe sometimes those hands are a little like you don't know where you're supposed to put how long the hands are. And sometimes your legs look a little funny. Anybody ever have issues with drawing bodies and making them look a little bit more, yeah, I see some hands going up. So again, Mr. Callwood's going to teach us some tips and tricks today on getting those so that you are comic ready. So, okay, Mr. Callwood, it's all yours.
Yes, you notice that if you notice that what I did is I made 9 lines going across because it's the length of a normal size person in a comic. Depends if you want to make a specific kind of person, but it's 9 of his heads high. So it's 9 spaces. If you count them, there are 9 spaces up. And his body is about 9 heads high. That's the average of a normal height of a guy. Or just a person too. But yeah, as you can see, he has his head. Let me see if I can make it bigger so you can see a lot better. So yeah, it's let me see if I can make another one here while keeping it there. So you see, oh, I'm sorry, maybe make it a little more bigger.
So Mr. Callwood, can you start us off? Would you say that the students should probably start off by drawing those 9
yes
horizontal lines to start with?
Let me wait until you finish the lines. Yes, 9 lines.
So 9 lines. If you have a ruler, that's probably going to be helpful, right, Mr. Callwood? But if you don't, you can just kind of eyeball it.
Yes, just it doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be very perfect, but 9 good spaces that you know a head could at least fit in. Once you do that, I'll wait for you guys to finish.
Almost made it too big.
Oops.
You ready?
So,
sorry.
So I think if you have probably a ruler, I'm just going to take a guess here, Mr. Callwood. Would you say like about 2 inches is a good amount of space? So you're going from, so you'd make
about that.
About 2, 2 inches or so. So you'd make a mark at 2 inches at 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then again at 18. And if you don't have a ruler, you're just gonna have to kind of eyeball it, but use your fingers or whatever, or you could use a different object just to kind of place hold there as you're drawing those horizontal lines down.
Yes. So it's just yeah, like she said, use a ruler or eyeball it if you don't have a ruler. I used to eyeball it before I bought a ruler, which was a little rough to make straight lines, but it's always good to have a ruler when you're drawing on paper at least. But yeah, it's if you notice when you finish, I'll explain that. Like I said, his body is 9 heads high. From what I learned in my classes of them teaching me, his body is 9 heads high. But if you look at every space has something in it. Every space, the top space up here has his head, and here is his chest and shoulders. Every space holds something in it. The length of his arms stops right there by his thighs. There's a space for his chest. There's a space for his biceps and his stomach muscles. There's one for his forearm. There's space for his wrists, his knees, his calves, and to the bottom where his ankle and toes are. Once you learn to make this space, once you start doing these lines, you could always, this is one way to create your same character twice, more than one time, which is a very hard thing to do, but this is a good way to learn to use it. Because now you know how tall your guy is. So then when you draw your character, you know where his arm is. So when you draw the next character of him, turn a different way sideways like this, you know where the arm's supposed to land. You know where the neck is and the shoulder is supposed to land when you draw them again. It keeps everything in line with each other.
Mr. Callwood, could you please put for the students, I think it might be a little helpful, if you put like on the line here, the number 1, so you can keep track, and then you guys probably on your paper, maybe if you put line number 1 so you can count down. That might be helpful for you guys, so you can make sure that they match up to Mr. Callwood's lines.
You want me to put the number 1 like
yeah,
here, like that? 1.
Exactly.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 spaces, but 9 lines. There are 8 spaces, but there are 9 lines in total. Because of the bottom one to keep the foot standing on top something. So remember, it's 8 spaces, but 9 lines. And you want to make the lines go a good length across, like how I have it, so you can be able to do another character right next to him sideways and one with his back turned. The one with his back turned is going to be a little more difficult than anyone else.
How's this?
Can you bring it up a little bit more? I can't see it too well. Okay, yes, that's good. That's very good, actually. Now, before you put that, you see I have a line going down in the middle. Before you even do that, don't even do that yet. Do your character first, and then like how my first character is, and then you'll do the line afterward, because you don't know how big you're going to make your character.
Okay.
And you don't want it to be all squeezed up in with the line there. So you do your character, one character first, and then you do the line down. So now you can separate it from the other one after you make your character at least. And like I say, your character doesn't have to look exactly like mine's, but just follow the same anatomy of where the proportional body is in. So number 2 is chest and shoulders, along with neck, a little bit of the neck, but it's mostly shoulders and chest.
And that's probably a common mistake most people make is they don't have those hands going all the way down far enough. A lot of you guys probably have your hands stop like at number 4. And so again,
Yes.
following these guidelines now, you'll know that, hey, I need to make sure that my hands are a little bit longer and reaching down to number 5.
Yes, it should, because if you make it at 4, you'll see your hands. It looks normal when you think, because when you think about it, it feels like it needs to be at number 4. But number 4 is your hands are very too short. It should be reaching at least, because if you stand up yourself and you put your arms down, you see that your arms are reaching your thighs, to your top of thigh of your legs. It's a bit tricky when you just start doing them. Like on this second character that is standing up sideways. When drawing a character like that too, you gotta remember that your back doesn't come straight down flat. No one back comes down straight flat. It has to curve in and then come back out like that, like how it is there. When you guys do your character, let me see them, okay? I love to see them when you finish at least.
So we should start drawing the character, or?
Did you already finish the lines?
Yeah.
Yes, you can start drawing the characters.
All right.
Well, we start with this one first, of course. This one right here that I put the mark next.
Is there any chance you can zoom in on that one?
Yeah, definitely I could zoom in on it.
All right, thanks.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All
Thanks.
right. Like I said, if you watch everything, you'll see everything is proportionally cut off. The knees, the arms, the biceps, the stomach, your thigh, your calves, or your legs. It's separated in this way so you'll know it easily where everything goes. So if your chest goes beyond number 2, you know it's too far down. If your stomach goes beyond number 3, it's too far down. So you'll make your character look very deformed. Unless the only time you could do things like that, unless you wanted your character to look like that. But again, before you start making changes to your character, you still have to learn how to do anatomy. Learn that first, and then you can break the rules.
Does anybody want to show what they've got work in progress right now?
This is what I've done so far, just a head.
Oops. Let me get you, Kai, so I can see you. Okay.
Okay, I see what you did. Those are heads, right?
Yeah, just the head.
Okay. So how much heads is there? How much heads did you draw? 8?
Just one.
Oh, just one head.
Well, I'm saying, I drew 8 lines, but just one head.
Okay, I couldn't see it well. Okay, bring it up a little bit more. Let me look at it. Put it up a little bit more. Because I couldn't see it good as what I thought it was, like 8 heads.
I think you're
Okay,
looking
yeah,
at,
I see it now. Yes, I see it now. I see it.
you've got a
Good
Z.
job.
You got Ezekiel Rogers, who's got the heads that he's drawing, and then Kai's got just the one head right this second. So,
Kai, you finish your head? You finish draw the head?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now look at this. I'm gonna use the red to go over it as well. Once you draw the head in, then you start to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me make it a little thicker. Yeah. Oh no. So. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, you start making the shoulders down from the neck. See? Look at it. I put it in red so you can see it. So you start to put the neck down. The neck is the next thing to do. Make sure the neck come past the number 1 line. The shoulders, I mean, sorry. Yes, the neck will come down past this number 1 line, but the shoulders will be underneath where you see I'm doing that. And if you want to keep everything straight, you can also make a line from the chin down to the chest like this. You see, like that. Now, if you keep that line there, you can also, then you could just do the shoulders and you know where the shoulders will fall, and it'll keep your chest straight, and it wouldn't be coming out, it wouldn't come out crooked or anything. You can just, you know, the chest don't go past number 2 line, so like that, you know, you just keep it. Everything goes in steps. If you do it in steps, you'll get it done the right way. And like, again, it still will take practice though, you know, it doesn't. So don't, again, like I tell the 8-year-old yesterday, do not beat yourself up. All right, you guys just practice. Do not beat yourself up. It took me a long time to even be able to draw over my character twice, the same character more than once. It took a long time, at least if I have to guess, I'd say it took me a good maybe 12 years. And that's because I was teaching myself. But when you have somebody helping you, it's a lot easier than doing it yourself. Let me know if you guys do the chest and shoulders, okay? Remember, if you want to keep things straight, just keep a line straight down and you'll know for sure. I'll even finish the line all the way down. Like that. You keep that line there straight down like that, you definitely know where each side of the body will be falling, and it'll come out the right way. That's how I used to do it too, because you put the line straight down, you know that half of the body on this side and half is on the other side. Let me know when you guys are finished doing the shoulders and chest. I even did a female version one too. I did a female version one already. It's here, I just haven't brought it up on the screen yet. For anybody that wants to learn to do the female.
I just finished the shoulders and chest.
Yeah, good job, man. That's very good job. You see, when you follow those lines, you know the shoulder is dropping right there in the number 2 line.
Okay, we got Leonise is using doing hers with her tablet there. I see hers is coming along.
That's nice. Yes. Could you bring it close, a little closer to the screen? I can see it, but I just want to see it a lot better. Good job. Good job. See? You see how you see? Oh, you did the whole thing. You see that? That's nice. You see now, just exactly how your arms is falling the same way as mine, where it lands on by the thighs right there. You
It
see?
doesn't look to me.
It doesn't what?
It doesn't look good. It looks terrible.
See, it's not about looking good. How many cartoon or anime characters do you see that you watch, and everybody art is not the same? Some may look a little less than others, but that doesn't mean anything. As long as the anatomy is still right, you have it right, and that's a good start. Okay? I know you're gonna beat yourself up all the time and keep saying you want it to look really good and you want it to look like mines, but if you try to look like mines, you're gonna frustrate yourself. Okay?
I think on Leonise, if I saw it correctly, I think your hands were a little short. It seems like they didn't quite make it down to the line to number 5. So that might be one of the things that you're getting a little frustrated with. So
Number 5.
you got all the way down to the line there to 5, or was it closer to 4?
No, it was to 5.
It was 5, okay.
Yeah, this arm on the let's see what how I'm looking at the screen. It's the left arm, but if you turn it around, it'll be the right arm. One of the arms are a little shorter than the other. Look at it good and you see it.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Okay, yes. Let's bring it down a little bit more, and then it'll be, because one arm is longer than the next, so that's gonna make it look weird. So just bring down the shorter arm a little bit more, and you'll be all right.
Okay.
So as they're working, Mr. Callwood, would you say it's important that like each space that we're looking at, that we just concentrate on just that little area, like where
Yes,
the arm
yes.
connects to the body with that space there? And sometimes when we go a little faster, we might lose some of those details. So if we slow down and just concentrate, if you're on number 2, we just concentrate on that space and those lines in number 2 before we move down to number 3. Would that be a good
Yes,
idea?
definitely. That's why I mark it out in red and said do the shoulders and the chest for now. Once you get that right, then you move on to the number 3 space. But what we usually do naturally when we try to make things, draw characters, we just start drawing. We don't too much try to figure out if the arms is a good length or not, or if the neck is too skinny or too long, or we just start drawing, which is normal. I used to do it too, but then I had to learn this way. If I wanted to be able to do what I want to do now, I had to learn the right way.
So
And
just
that's why
slowing it down a little bit. How many of you
Yeah.
guys are ready for number 3? Are you guys ready for him to move on to number 3 as we slowly build our person here?
Alexis is ready, she says. Well, our hands are up. You have a
Okay.
question, Alexis, or are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Anybody else ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What about you, Ezekiel? You ready?
Oh, I kind of accidentally went on to the rest of the body.
Oh, you went down? Yeah, I saw that you went down ahead. It's not a problem. Not a problem. Sorry about that. The screen went out on me. Okay, so now that we're doing this, we'll start with his. We're not gonna start with the arms. We're gonna start with his sides by the ribs right here. And we're gonna come down, cover it, and come back out. Come down, curve in, come back out. And then we're gonna do it. We can do the stomach muscle them while we're here. And then I want to do the rest of the arm, which will be, from how I'm looking at the screen, it will be, I'll start it from the left arm.
I just finished the number 3.
You just finished number 3, you said?
Yeah, I was working on
Okay.
it earlier.
All right, see? So everybody finished number 3 already? Okay, I'm still gonna go through it anyway, even though I know you guys probably finished the whole body already, but I'm still gonna go through with it just to show you. Then the forearms. So everybody already finished the whole body?
I'm still trying to. I want to add the creases now.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
change up the chest.
Those are important, yes. Those are his muscles in his legs, or his arms, his side by his ribs. So those are important too, yes. Knowing your muscles are important. Knowing where the muscles fall. And right here is the knee where I'm drawing right now. That's where the knee falls. Right here.
For me, I'm running into a bit of a problem when it comes to the lineage because I'm kind of going like accidentally coming in like a line behind. So say the shoulders are in 6, I'm accidentally somehow reaching into 5 with it.
With the shoulders?
Not with the shoulders, like the knees, like they're kind of.
Oh, the knees, yeah, the knees,
Yeah.
okay. So it's in 5 then, which means your guy is a bit short.
Yeah.
Okay, what you can do is adjust him a little bit. So you have 8, do you have the 8 spaces already?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, then you will have to bring his legs down some. And
Okay.
make sure his knees land in number 6.
Okay.
His kneecaps needs to land in number 6. Anything above that is because he's a short character. Well, like I said, when you there's times when you will have short characters if you're making a comic book and you wanted that character to be short. Well, he won't be 8 spaces tall. You know, he might just be 4.
Okay.
And then his knees would probably fall somewhere just past number 6. If he's just 4, if his head starts at 4. But yeah, just bring his legs down a lot longer. Make sure his knees drops at number 6. To help you do that, what you can do is you can just make sure two circles for the knees.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make sure you start doing the legs first before you do the upper body part. That way you know where the legs go, and then you could just attach the rest to his body. If you know what I mean when I said attach, like draw the rest up. But you gotta make sure his knees land there.
Okay, thank you.
And the knees does not have to, the 2 knees does not always be the same exact line across. If you look at my knee, you see that one of his knees a little more, might be a little more higher than the other one, is because how he's standing. That's very important too. Depends on how you standing up, could make a big difference in many different things.
Okay.
Because you don't always be in line with everything you do when you're standing up. You could be slouching a little bit and your arm could be long, long on one side and the other. Not saying that it's supposed to be that way, but if you're drawing it normally standing like this guy, everything should be like that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Make sure his arms are in, make sure his fingers and everything falls in number 5. His knees are in number 6. Once his knees are in number 6, his calves will be in 7. And that way you'll know, and this is why, you see, and to you, that might be normal that what you was doing, drawing your character that way. But now that you're seeing that that all these spaces is important, now you know that your knees for your character, you're making them too short. Unless, like I said, unless you wanted the character to be a short person. But again, the anatomy still has to be the same whether he's short or tall. So yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So when you, from now on, if you start practicing like that and you start to learn where all the body's falling, all the body parts are falling, what you will be able to do is one day you will be able to not have to use lines like these, and you'll just be able to draw your character, because this is not, drawing this way is not even the hard part. Now the hard part would be drawing your character in a pose. Like I have the guy down to the bottom looking like he's jumping, like he's getting ready to fly or something.
Excuse me.
Yes?
You said that the body is 9 heads tall. I only see 8 on your screen.
Yes, that's what I was. You make 9. There's 9 lines, but there are 8 spaces. Okay, and I said 9. I said 9 because this guy is an average height of a man. This is just a normal height of a man. But you can make a taller guy. If he's a taller guy, he will be an extra head above his head. You understand? If he's a taller guy than this guy, another head will have to go above up here. You understand?
Yes.
And that means his shoulders will fall here, and his arms and everything will fall here like that. If he's taller.
Okay.
So yeah, it's 8 spaces, but 9 lines. So that's why I said 8 heads tall. I mean, sorry, 9 heads tall, sorry. But yes, there is 8 spaces. Because 8 spaces is the amount of space you need to put every pieces of the human body in, which is the head, the shoulders and chest, the bicep arms and stomach, along with his side. Then underneath has his waist, his forearm. Then the other space has his fingers and his thighs. Then you have another piece of his thighs goes to his knees, then the calves. Then you have ankles and toes. Well, we ain't drawing toes today, but yes, ankle and the feet. And if you look at the guy next to him, you see how he's drawn? The guy is still the same. He has, his head is here, his neck is there, his chin is landing on top of the line, just like this guy over here. Their chins are on the same line. That's how you know your character could come out the same exact way. His neck is there. His back and shoulders is the same. And he has his chest right here. So and it lands on top of the line just like the other one. See, this is why it's good to have these kind of structure. And look, his arm and his arm is still the same. See that? It's still the same. His stomach is still the same. His forearm is still the same. That's why these lines are there, so you can know where everything goes. It helps you so you don't have to, you draw this character once and then you try to draw him again and he's not coming out the same way. He might be coming out shorter than the first guy. But these things is to help. So yeah, and the wrist and fingers is still fall in the same place. Wrist and fingers still in the same place. These are the guidelines to help you create your character more than one time. There is forward. Once you know how to draw your character face forward, sideways, and the back of his head, you will be able to do characters any kind of way after that. But those three are the main things you have to learn. Looking forward, looking sideways, and having his back turned. Because once you do comics, these characters always have to be looking that kind of way, either forward, sideways, or his back turned. Unless you plan to draw him looking forward all the time, and that won't be good to do for a comic.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. No, I'm listening to you now.
I
Go ahead.
finished doing the body, but I accidentally didn't make it wide enough, so it's kind of proportion wrong, but I kind of like it that way.
Of course, that's what I said. If you want, when you want to make your character like that, you can, because it's a character. As long as you have the anatomy right, you have your knees, you have your arm, you have your elbow, your neck, and your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the anatomy is still right. That's why I said when you learn the anatomy, you could exaggerate after that once you know where everything goes.
Nice job, Kai. Really nice.
That's a nice job. You can make your guy with a very long snake neck all you want, if you want, but long as his body is still have the elbows, knees, and in the right place, you will be good. Because there are tall people in this world, remember? And they're very tall. There are people that are 7 feet. Then let's be real now. Their knees are not where my knees are, or your knees, you know, but it's still in the right place.
Anybody else want to show Mr. Callwood what you've been up to? Again, we're learning. We're still learning. So
I'm gonna bring the screen across some more. Okay. Anybody still working on this guy? This guy right here? Anybody still working on him? No, right?
We got Mr. Ezekiel. You would like to show? Go ahead.
I want to bring the screen across to these two. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Let me see. Sorry, Ezekiel, I didn't see it. One more time.
Wow.
Wow, that's nice.
I have something also.
What are those other things that you draw? The clothes or faces or? I'm interested in the other things too as well that you drawn. Are they faces? Ezekiel, I'm talking. Is you I was asking.
Ezekiel, do you want to share with us the other parts that you drew? Because
I think his mic is mute.
It is right this second.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I was asking you. I was saying that what are those extra things that you draw next to the characters or faces?
Yeah, those are some stuff I just drew quickly because I just wanted to get an idea of what.
Can I see them? Do you mind showing it to me, or you want to not show them? It's fine if you don't want to.
don't know how I'm gonna show them all, but hopefully
A little
some
closer.
of them are just
little-
concepts for some. Some of them
just
are
a little
concepts.
closer. A little closer. A little closer. Okay, good, good, good. That's nice, man, Ezekiel. That's very nice. I like that. So you say you're trying to make a comic book?
Yes.
I see that you have the good idea. You have a good idea. I can see you have your concept arts of characters.
I think Ezekiel's sister wants to show something too, Mr.
Okay.
Callwood. And then we
Yes.
have some other people that want to show.
Want to show anything?
Yeah, I do.
Give her a few minutes.
Okay. Anybody else or you guys want to wait?
I have something. I mean, if you can see it.
Yeah, I
Nice.
see it. That's nice. That's
I try.
nice.
It's kind of has some weird arm proportions, but I mean, it's
Again,
it's okay.
again, hear what? If you want your guy to be very tall, then that's how he's gonna be. But guess
Okay.
what? Your elbows are still landing in the same place and your arm is long, but it's still landing in the same place.
Okay.
Leonise, did you want to share with us?
Oh, I'm not finished.
Alexis, raise her hand. Alexis? Alexis camera. She's on mute. Oh, okay, she raised her hands. Okay. Okay, Alexis, I see it. She's on mute. I don't think she can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. That's nice. And you already did this. I see that you did this sideways character already. Oh, so this is the back of the character you're showing me. The sideways and back of the character. Okay.
No,
okay,
it's the front.
Oh, it's the front. Okay. I thought it was the back when I saw the sideways character as well. Good job.
They're fast.
Thank you.
I thinking that I'm thinking, but you guys are long past me.
So, Mr. Callwood, as we're approaching, the hour's gone by very quickly. We still have a little bit of time left. I know the students are still working on the side, and some of them are already going on to the back of their person as well. So once you get the basic anatomy down, then after that, that's when you get to start adding the clothing and deciding
Yes.
how you would like your superhero to be dressed or your person to be dressed.
I could start adding. I'll put it in a different color. I'll put it in black. All right. So let's just say I'm thinking of let's just put him in a regular shirt. His shirt is like those V-neck shirts. It will fit on him because he's muscular.
Actually, Mr. Callwood, I see some people are
Yes.
still drawing. So if you zoom out just a little bit, because I don't want to, yeah, that way the people who are still trying to draw, they can still draw
Yes.
and watch. Okay, perfect. That's great.
So it's like you just have to know where to put everything. And see, I draw one arm first, so I know where the second sleeve of the shirt will go. And let's say he has on, when you're wearing a shirt, it wouldn't show, it might not show, unless, depends on how the shirt fits on him. It may show all the muscle in his body, depends on how it fits on him. And the shirt will stop about here. So you see, and let's say he's wearing a pants, of course. I could start off with his belt buckle, because now I know exactly where everything else will go once the buckle is there. And now I'll do that. And his belt buckle will be there. This will be right here of the pants where the zipper would be. Now for the pants, it may come down a certain way, but it's going to have some kind of slack in it. Like that. Some kind of slack will be in the pants, even if it's fitting on him really good or not. he's gonna have some kind of slack in the pants. Mostly in that area right there, by around the knee, around the side of the knee and stuff. The slackness will most likely be there. And then it may come down a little too tight here, but then it could have slack to the bottom of the shoe, to the pants right here like that. And what I do is, since he's already wearing the pants, then I go in and start erasing certain things. I'll put it, oh, I'm sorry. I'll put it back. See, that's what I like about the digital, because when you make a mistake, I could just go back and fix it. See, when you start erasing certain things, now it starts to look like a pants. And then I'll have to erase the actual red part of the leg. See, you just use the body to let you know where everything is. But when you finish, you just erase them out. So then it starts to look more like a, then you start to put in the creases, some of the creases in the pants. If you understand what I'm trying to show you, see? You start erasing it afterwards. And for his shoes, since his shoes are straightforward, but yeah, you can dress the guy. It's like you're just sitting down and you're just putting clothes on something and someone. And depends on how big the clothes is. But again, if I go to the second guy, all I have to do is follow what I put there, which was, this is like that from the neck. It's going down like a V. Then the sleeves will fall right here, same place. The bottom of the shirt is here, same place. And the belt, the pants, so you basically just follow the same thing. It helps you, like I say, it helps you be able to know where everything goes once you have those guidelines. See, it makes it a lot easier to just follow. And some shoes on, and so you see, let's say I'm gonna put a watch in his hand. So then I'll put a watch here. So you see, once you have the shirt, once you have the characters in line like this, it makes it a lot easier to follow through. You don't have to guess where the sleeve fall. You could just do it like that. You dress the one guy, then you go to the second guy and dress him. And now there's the guy in the back. I'll do the one for the back too, because so you can see how to dress someone in the back with the back turn. It's the most trickiest one, but it's like that. And again, the sleeves will fall right here and right there. I put a watch in his hand, so we're going to follow same space. Watch in his hand. The shirt falls right here. This is the belt. Oh, this is the belt area. So I'm going to put it like that. So you see, and the pants area. This time his legs are together and when his back is turned, so. And I'll add some back pockets. I'll fix his head up a lot better. Ears. His neck. So see, you follow it and then everything will come out lining up with the same.
I just finished doing the side portion of the body.
Good job. I can see it, yeah. Yes, good job.
Thanks.
So you see why it's important to have the structure already lined out, because now you know when you do your character, and guess what? If this is a character you want to put in a story, you have them there like a chart. You want to remember how to draw your character, you look at your chart, you follow it. You have it sideways, forward, and its back is turned. It will all come out the same once you keep doing that. You do that with all your characters. That way you know what your character is wearing, you know how tall they are. Those are important.
So Mr. Callwood, before we wrap up for the day, those of you that might have a cell phone nearby or have a parent who has a cell phone nearby, I would recommend that you maybe or you can do a screenshot. Those of you who know how to do screenshots, you could take a screenshot quickly of Mr. Caldwell's drawing here with the three views there. So you have the front, the side, and the back view, and you can use this as a guide.
I also have the female one there too. I want to put that up so in case I want to learn to draw females as well, you can take a screenshot of that too, okay?
Okay, so give everybody 1 second to do a screenshot.
Yeah.
If you know how to do screenshot or photo, whatever you need to do. Okay, thumbs up if you're ready for him to move on and show you what the female looks like. Okay, give everybody a minute more.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Donnelly, are you ready for us to move on for the female? All right, perfect. So go ahead, Mr. Callwood. They look like they're ready for you to share what the female would look like.
Hold on, can you go back?
Sorry, go ahead.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I won't leave until you make sure everybody get it. Don't worry. I'm here. I want to make sure that you have what you need. And you, again, it could be any kind of way you feel like dressing these characters. They could be wearing a hood over their head, bigger pants, slacker pants, whatever. But just know that the anatomy is right. Then you can do what you want after that with the exaggeration of clothes or just the character itself. You guys good? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let me bring up the female one. Where is she?
Excuse me?
Yeah, see, these are female poses. These are female poses along with the female head. I keep the head there just so you guys could look at the head in case you want to look at the head. Sorry, I'm sorry. I was trying to move this out your way and put it over here. All right, so you can see what you're doing. All right, let me move this one too as well, because I want you to be able to see everything clearly. So yeah. Could you see the female figure?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing as the guy, but of course there's a lot more curves. And if you want to still learn faces, it's still there too as well. And her face sideways. Yes, Kai?
I'm gonna have to go, so I'm gonna say bye now.
Okay, Kai.
Thank
Did
you,
you
Kai,
take a
for
picture of
joining
the,
us.
Thank
did
you.
you take a picture of the female? Did you take a picture of your
Thank you.
stuff?
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye.
joining us. So those of you that want to do that, you can. Mr. Callwood, do you have a certain person that you like to follow that you really would recommend that they can follow on YouTube?
There's a guy that I follow, and I follow him on YouTube. He's called White Manga. That's what he calls himself. I could type it up right here so you can see what it's spelled. Sorry. That's what I was looking for. This right here. He spells it White Manga.
I think it's hidden behind the head there. There you go.
Yeah. So it's white. Sorry, not spelled with that white. You see, it changed how I spelled it because it's not spelled with the water white itself. It's spelled WHYTE.
I actually saw that guy before.
You saw him before, yeah.
I used to watch him before.
Yeah, that's the guy. I follow him a lot because was he
the one who made the comic Apple Black or something like that?
Yes, he's that one that made that comic book Apple Black. Yes, he's definitely that one. Even if you type it in wrong, he should still show up once you put in White Manga. He still should show up. And he has tons of how to draw videos. He has videos how to tell you how to write a good story for a comic, how to do backgrounds, characters, how to make the story flow good. Yeah, so he's the guy that I follow a lot.
So Mr. Callwood, as we finish up our call here, do you want to go back to where you turn off your screen so we can just see you?
Yes, so I'll just
unplug.
Shut that off. 1 second and stop mirroring. All right. Stop share. All right.
All right. See me now? Yeah, now we can see you. Whoops, what did I do? So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate Mr. Callwood coming to us all the way from St. Thomas and sharing his talent with us, his words of encouragement, and giving us some tips and tricks so you guys can continue to make your comics, and sharing with us one of his people that he likes to follow. So we hope you guys will continue to draw. We have those sketch pads for you from the St. Croix Foundation. And we definitely really appreciate St. Croix Foundation helping us out here and making this happen as part of our Art at Home series. And we hope that you will continue to join us both virtually and in person at the Museum Center. So again, a round of applause for Mr. Callwood and many thanks to you. Do you have any last minute words for them?
Yes, please. If you really like it, don't stop trying. Don't give up on it. It's not going to be easy. Your work is not going to look like everybody else right now, but you will get there. It takes a lot of practice. So please, when you go and you look at White Manga stuff, don't look at his stuff and be like, oh, I need to be just like him. And I did that too when I was following him earlier in my time. But I realized that I have to do my own thing. And we'll never be the same. None of us, you, me, we won't draw the same. All right. For all I know,
And it would be boring, right, Mr. Callwood, if
Yes, it
everybody's
really
comic
would
characters
be.
look the same?
Yeah, you don't want to be the same. You always want to be different. That's why I created the VI Guardian, to be different.
Yeah. I also saw other guy who does something like what manga. His name is Zabio Art.
Xavier Oz, I think I know who it is, yeah. Where did you find him, on Instagram or YouTube?
Are you you're talking about the guy who
The guy you just mentioned.
What does his profile look like? Does he have like some black wobbly hair, a blue some kind of X on the shirt, and little stickman arms? Let me try to draw a picture of him to show you.
So we'll look for him. Does anybody else that's on the line, does anybody else have somebody that they particularly like to follow, that they would like to share with the group, since you guys seem to be very much cartoon enthusiasts?
No, but I do have to leave now, so I just want to say goodbye and thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Bye. Nice having you, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to turn off the video recording here. We can finish up with any last minute questions you have, but thank you again to St. Croix Foundation. Thank you to Karim Callwood, and we'll have to get you over to St. Croix to do a in-person learning session too with the students. I think everyone would really enjoy that as well. Thank you.